All right, so this is a bass drum. You guys will be playing it horizontally like this. Chances are you're going to put it on the bleacher in front of you, or the seating area in front of you, and you'll be hitting it with these guys. Okay. So like I said in class, dedicate your stronger hand right now. In most of your cases, probably your right hand, to be hitting the middle of the drum, the center of the drum, and your left hand to be hitting this metal plate over here. Okay, so if you're listening to like a "We Will Rock You" beat, okay, that's sort of all you really need to do. Okay, there's gonna be times maybe when we'll do something like that. That's totally fine as well. Just right, left, right, left. Just try and get it right in the center of the drum if you can, because when you start playing off center, you have different tones. Okay, right in the center is gonna give you the punchiest, most consistent tone there is. If you go like this, it sounds different, sounds kind of weak. Go right for the center. Right? So again, I already showed you "We Will Rock You," so that. Next one is, this one's kind of fancy. This is the samba. You can either just play a bunch of quarter notes, or throw your left hand in there. Okay, your quarter notes will stay the same. So you notice my right hand stayed consistent the whole time. Okay, so just to give you guys a little bit of a rundown on how to play this instrument. Again, you're going to play it horizontally, right in the center, and the rim on that side. Get used to this motion. Maybe on your lap, you know, do your hand on your right hand on your lap, and then maybe this on the desk or something, just to kind of get used to that. Get used to that motion. So listen along to the beats. Everyone's individual parts are actually a lot simpler than what it sounds collectively. So, just try and listen for your part, listen for the bass drum, and then, just kind of incorporate the snare drum sound or the back beats 2 and 4 with your left hand. So here are quads, called quads because there's 4 drums on it. Some of these have a 5th drum in the middle, then it would be called a quint, but the general vernacular for all these guys is called tenors. Okay, so you say tenors, that's usually what it means. These guys, right? Either quads or quints. So these 4 drums are ergonomically set up. So it's not like a piano where the lowest drum is here and then the highest drum is over here. It's ergonomic, so you don't have to cross over as much. All right, so if you're highest, second highest, second lowest, and lowest. So if you're gonna go down the scale, easy. Everything's right in front of you. You want to go up the scale? You do that. Okay? So with like a beat like "We Will Rock You," you would just use the 2 lower drums as your bass drum, and then you can use either one of these 2 or both as your higher drum. So you'll have the choice. Or, okay? So try and emulate the bass drums with these 2 simultaneously, and the snare drums with this one or this one, in any order that you want. Okay? So the samba might be a little bit tricky because, I tell the bass drum guys to use their stronger hand. For the lowest drum in this quad is this one, which is your left hand. So that may not be your strongest hand, right? Unless you're okay with that, then sure, do that. But if your stronger hand's your right hand and you'd rather use your right hand to do the downbeats, that's totally fine too. And to incorporate the entire samba beat, something like that. You can do any combination. If your left hand is good, you can do something like that as well. All right, so just try and stick, as close to the bass drum and snare drum parts as you can, using these as your bass drum, this as your snare drum, and this as your snare drum as well. All right, if you want to do some scale type things, everything is laid out in front of you very easily. So you you can do that scale with very little motion crossing over. Okay, so this is, you know, 2 beats. You got the wheel rock you beat. We have the samba. You know, the other stuff, you know, spend some time just figuring it out, just keeping in mind bass drum, snare drums. All right, so this is snare drum. I have the harness on for this one because we don't have a stand that has a basket wide enough to accommodate this. Okay, so you may have to wear it as well. Just to let you know. All right, so this is a Kevlar head. This is bulletproof, so you can hit this thing pretty hard and not feel too bad about it. All right, so unlike bass drum people who are gonna be playing pretty much all the downbeats, as well as beats 1 and 3, obviously, you're gonna be playing the back beats, which is beats 2 and 4, and also act as a hi-hat. Okay, so you'll either be playing a cymbal that someone will be holding for you or will have on a stand, or playing on the rim. Right? So the beats here, pretty simple. You know, so if you're doing We'll Rock You, like 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You can tell it's a very loud, high-pitched drum. Kind of hard to manage if you're not used to playing a Kevlar head. The bounce off of this drum is incredible. Right? So, so you'll be doing a lot of that. Likely a lot of that. The samba might be the trickiest one for you. I would go right hand rim. That's how that would go. You also have the So yeah, just keep in mind, listen to the recordings and try and match the snare drum sounds in the recordings as much as possible. Groove with it a lot. Yeah, and just do your best to you know, to lock in. Cymbals. All right. So to properly hold these, you don't wrap your hand in there. You see a lot of people do that. You don't do that. Okay, it's too cumbersome. All right, very simple. You grab thumb and pointer, pinch as close as you can to the cymbal bell here. And just hold it. That's it, okay? That's the best way to hold cymbals. A lot of times too, you'll see people do this. That's okay as well, but you're also dampening the cymbal by accident, so you have to use it sparingly. I have this strap wedged pretty well in my hand, and it's just kind of hanging there. And I'll pinch if I need to. If I'm holding it as a hi-hat, which I'll show you in a second, the thumb should be out a little bit, so to give it a little bit more stability. If not, that cymbal is going to wobble around a lot. Okay, so with your thumb out, you're going to give it a little bit a nice foundation. All right, so with a second cymbal, you would do the same. Okay, you would hold it, you'd pinch it there, and that's it. All right, so you have a couple of sounds that you're going to be doing. You have your hi-hat first, okay, which kind of like just like the hi-hat pedal, like a hi-hat drum set. Okay, you'll hold this one facing this way, and one on top facing down. You're going to jam it up against your stomach. Not hard, because you want to, you know, breathe and stuff, right? These two can touch at the bottom here, as closest to your body, and then you just kind of close it and open it. And that's your hi-hat sound with these hand cymbals, okay? Your crash can be done a couple different ways. You always see people crashing this way, right? That's all right. It's not the best idea because sometimes you can catch an air pocket. I'm gonna just do an air pocket now. You'll catch an air pocket like that when you crash this way, which isn't really the best sound. You're gonna try and crash, but then you're gonna get the hi-hat sound instead. So the best way to crash, and this is an orchestral way as well, hold it like a hi-hat again, okay? Kind of like that. But instead of turning your hands and doing this, you're just gonna use your top cymbal as your striking cymbal, and the bottom cymbal is just gonna stay put. So you kind of go off to the side a little bit, and then pull this cymbal away from you, thinking about that far, and just crash it together like that, okay? Now the harder you go, obviously the louder it'll be, right? You don't really need to go too crazy with this thing. These are very loud cymbals. These are cymbals that are designed to be, you know, used for marching bands. So these are pretty loud. All right, so again, hold this thing steady and just crash above it like that. right? And your hi-hat. And every now and then you're gonna hold the cymbals like this for the snare drum players. Okay, just kind of hold it out for them. They'll be facing you, you'll be facing them, and they'll be playing the inside of the cymbal with their sticks.